everyone, I'm here today with a baby girl themed layout. I've been getting a lot of requests lately for baby themed projects. Baby girl, baby boy, cricket, silhouette, kind of everything. And I'm trying to get to all of them, I promise. Every time I get a request for a project or a tutorial, I write it down on a list. And I've slowly been making my way down the list, but I have a lot of tutorials left to make for people. So, you know, if you're still waiting for the project you requested, I promise I'm trying to get to it. It's just, these take a long time and I'm doing the best I can, so please be patient with me. So for this project, I used the Cricut Imagine cartridge, Nursery Tales, and it just has all these like really cute little animals, and it has this beautiful paper, which makes a great background. It's already so detailed and everything. It's got the beautiful scene layout and the trees and the clouds and sun. So my idea was to basically print this out and then fill it full of critters. So I'm going to put this to the side for a second and I'm going to put my photo mat together. So my photo is going to be 4 inches by 6 inches. I have a photo mat for it that's 4 1/4 by 6 1/4, and then the frame is 7 inches by 5 inches, and then it has a mat that is 7 1/4 by 5 1/4. So I'm just going to put these together. And everything on here, all the paper, all the images, are printed from the Nursery Tales cartridge. And if you wanted to make this layout for a little boy, you could just easily change the colors and it would work really well. I'm just going to adhere this in the center. And now I have a little charm that I cut from the cartridge. This little badge right here is cut at 1.5 inches, and then I cut a regular circle. I just chose the one out of the Cricut stock images and I filled it with this green paper, and I cut it at 2 inches. And I took my crocodile and I punched a 1/8 inch little hole in there. And I'm going to take some pink twine and I'm going to cut a nice sized piece of it. Probably more than I need, but I'd rather have more than less. So I'm just going to take the ends and put them together like this. Now I'm going to thread this through. And then I'm going to take this end right here where it's connected and just place this right through here. So see, that'll give us like a little bit of a knot right there. So now I'm going to take it and I'm just going to position it kind of right here on the photo, and then I'm going to take my twine and wrap it around a couple times. So I'm just going to adhere some glue or tape, whichever, to the back side of my frame. So I'm going to kind of position it where I want it, right about here. And then I'm just going to wrap my twine around. Once you have it wrapped, you can kind of play around with how you want it positioned. So I'm going to go ahead and trim my ends off. I'm actually going to add a little bit more just to hold it in place. And now I'm going to take my little charm and I'm going to take this little piece of twine that's left over, and I'm actually going to tie a little bow tie right on top of it. It's nothing fancy, just a regular bow. And now I'm going to trim the ends off. And then see, we can still very easily slip a photo underneath. So I'm going to put this aside, and I'm going to start putting my papers together. So I have this piece of paper that I showed you before. I picked the section where it said print paper, and I just printed the whole thing. Then I trimmed it down to 11 1/4 of an inch by 11 1/4 of an inch, and I took the 1/4 of an inch off the bottom and then half off of each side because I wanted to leave as much of the sun as possible because it had a lot more of the ground than it had the sky. So I've inked all my papers in dark brown ink. I have a piece of white paper that is 11 1/2 by 11 1/2, and then my craft cardstock is 12 by 12. So I'm just going to adhere these together. My tape broke. So I'm just going to grab my zip dry glue and finish putting this together. And now we can adhere our photo mat, and it's going to go right in the center here, so right under this limb and right next to the tree branch. So next I just have a whole bunch of cuts that I've made from the Nursery Tales cartridge. And I've mixed and matched a lot of them. So I have this tree, it's going to go over here. That's cut at 5 inches. I have another tree, and this one was cut at 4 1/2. And I wanted to bring in that blue from the bird some. Then I have some of these, I'm not sure what you call them. When you have the little animals, they have like this grass piece, and then it has a background piece, and then it usually has an animal on top of it. Well, I cut just some of the ground pieces. I cut 2 of them. So one over here. And then I have the only cut that is not from this cartridge. This one is the little baby carriage from the new arrival cartridge, but I filled it in with papers from this cartridge, so it still all coordinates. So I'm going to start adhering some of my cuts that are going to go flat on the paper without any foam. And have some little pieces that I wanted to go around my baby carriage. So I have this little mushroom and cattails. It's going to go behind. And then I have the layer for the mushrooms, but I decided not to pop this up on foam because I have some other cuts that are going to be popped up and I don't want too much dimension on here. And then I have this little green mushroom, and it will be popped up on foam. So this is all about just positioning my cuts and finding out where they look right, and playing with around with all my little cuts until they're how I want them. I think I'm going to go ahead and adhere my baby carriage, and it is popped up on foam. And I've added a couple little rhinestones. I've added a yellow one right in the center, and I've added some tiny crystal ones on the spokes. So on this piece over here, it's going to tuck in right about here. And I have a little lamb. It's going to sit on top of my grass. And another little mushroom that I'm actually going to tuck behind this grass piece. I have a little mushroom layer right here, and that's going to pop up on foam. I have a little squirrel. I have a bunny that's going to pop up on foam. I have some more of these green mushrooms. I have a little turtle. I have a flower that's going to go right here. And a few more mushrooms, but these are not the green ones, different colors. Oh, I didn't glue that one down. And I like having all the animals like facing the baby carriage, like they're, you know, all looking at the new baby. for up here, I have some clouds. I thought about popping these up so I'd have some on different dimensions, but I've decided to adhere them flat because I have a little owl and I have some butterflies and dragonflies that I want to place around, so I don't want everything popped up. So I'm just kind of positioning these to figure out where I want them. I think that looks good. So I just kind of went through and I popped almost half of them up on foam and left the other half flat on the paper. Sometimes it's better if you don't put too much thought in it and try to get it, too exact like every other one. Sometimes that works, but sometimes it's better if you just kind of go random because it looks a little more natural. With something like this where you have creatures all over the place, it's better if it's a little bit random sometimes. So there is our little girl layout. And like I said, if you wanted to make this for a boy, this would be very easy to change. It's a boy badge that you could use instead of this one. You could use some like green cardstock or the yellow or the blue. And you could also very easily make it in neutral colors and then leave the badge off, because there's different badges with little animals on them. So if you just wanted like a little squirrel or something, if you didn't know the sex of the baby, that would be a good option. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. Have a great day. Bye.